Hey there guys, back with another black and white UU match. This one's going to be versus a rain team used by a person called truevillany. I get usually all my matches off of the Smoke and Wi-Fi finder, so that should tell you a bit. Just looking at the team, he has a really stable looking team, and you can already notice the Tornadoes that usually does come as a specs, but actually that is OU now, so I told him that, but he didn't really answer back, so I'm just like, whatever, we're just gonna play with it. So first turn I'm gonna lay up spikes just because I know he's not gonna do much besides probably trick or volt switch out, and being that he went second tells me he's automatically not a scarf, so the only possibility is that he's more of a defensive spread, because Rose Ray does have a decent speed, but even if it's not max speed, it should still be outspeeding me. So I'm going to set up my second layer. I know he has a Blastoise, which can do quite a bit, but Rose Ray can hurt Blastoise quite a bit with Giga Drain, and really the combination of Lantern, Volt Switch can also hurt that, so that's not going to be a huge problem at all. So I'm going to switch out knowing that I have the Natural Cure, and I'm going to go into Swampert, which automatically dodges both the Thunder Wave and does take very, very little from a Seismic Toss. So he's going to switch out now, and he's going to go into his Blastoise, probably wanting to spin away the hazards. I'm going to go for an Ice Beam, expecting him to try to dodge my Earthquake completely with the Tornadoes and trying to get a sweep from the start, but he knows better, and he's going to go into his Blastoise. He's going to go for the Skull, trying to get the burn on me, but fortunately my Lantern is also a heal builder, so that actually won't really come into play in this match. So he's going to switch out, and I'm just going to go for a Volt Switch, and he's going to go to his Registeel. He knows that his Registeel is specially defensive, and it can take any hit that I could throw at it on the special side, so I must hit it on the physical if I tend to want to do some damage to it. So I'm going to switch into Swampert. I know I could get my rocks up at this point. He hasn't bothered spinning my things away, so I'm just going to go for an EQ. I just want this thing gone, and I know I could two-shot it from this range, and he's going to go for a Seismic Toss. This is going to take me down to about 1/4 of my health. With lefties I will recover, and it will barely do about 15% or so, and so he's gonna want to switch out, and he's gonna go back to his Rotom, and I'm just gonna stick with Earthquake because I didn't feel like predicting again, because I didn't want to mispredict and let his Blastoise come switch in for free, but unfortunately that's not gonna work out, and I'm gonna have to switch into Rose Raid, as he's actually gonna set up a late screen. This is okay because my Sludge Bomb will still be doing about a quarter damage, but it's not going to be doing nearly as much. But I do get the poison, which is very fortunate, and he's going to go for a Volt Switch. This Volt Switch is just going to give him the advantage. I don't really like him having the advantage here because he can send in his Tornadoes at any time, basically get a sweep going, but I do need to watch out if I do want to stop it. So I'm going to set up my third layer of spikes, I believe, as he's actually going to set up a Stealth Rock. This is going to prevent my Zapdos from coming into play and basically being as useful as it once would be. So, though my Zapdos can actually OHKO this, I don't want to send it in just because it can't. Yeah, so I'm going to send in my Swampert. He's actually going to go into his Tornadoes. This is okay because if it's a physical Pokemon, like he switches out, which should prove that it is, I'm going to switch out as well. I'm going to send in a Pokemon that can handle that, and I'm just going to send in Lantern, so he's probably the only Pokemon that can take a Hurricane. The only thing he really gets dented from is probably banded damage, but he's going to Rapid Spin right here, and that's going to do very little, but it is going to get rid of all my hazards. But I can switch back and forth between this and my Rose Raid, and I can also lay up other hazards in case he tries to hurt me. But with the Rain Dish coming in, he's going to gain about basically the amount of lefties would. So he must be carrying the Damp Rock, which automatically means that he'd be hurting me more. But I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb right here, just to want to get some damage on the Tornadoes, because that is almost obvious coming in. But I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into my Snorlax, because one of the best things I do have to take special moves, and dish out some really nice damage, because it is banded. And it's basically my check to most special Pokemon. So I'm going to go for a Body Slam right here. He's actually going to go for Acrobatics after a Bulk Up. This is very, very scary because that's actually going to KO me, because I believe after Light Gem Acrobatics, if I read it right, it does about 242 damage. I'm not exactly sure. I believe that's somewhere I read on Archeops on one of its sets. So I'm not exactly sure, but it does seem to be quite right. But it still does have a lot of power after the flight gem is lost, being that it's 110 base power once you have no item. So yeah. Here I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb because I want this Rotom out of my way. And it's actually going to be a clean Oko from that range. So that's going to be nice. And that's automatically one Pokemon, one special Pokemon that I really don't have to worry about. He's actually going to send in his Registeel. I'm going to set up my spikes as I can basically do that as I please. And he's going to go for another Rain Dance. It's going to prove to be a bit annoying, because this means Blastoise will be sticking around a bit longer, and I really don't want to have to deal with this thing. So yeah, so he's going to go for a Thunder Wave. This is not going to be too problematic because I can easily just switch out, gain my natural cure, and he's actually going to switch into his Blastoise this turn. I'm going to go for my I'm actually going to switch out as well. So I'm going to switch into Swampert. Swampert's going to come in. I can easily EQ this at any point of the match and basically KO it at this point. But I'm going to send in Layer Stealth Rocks just because I don't exactly know why. It's basically a waste of a turn because they'll basically want to Rapid Spin again, and that's just going to prove that I'm going to have to KO him this upcoming turn. So he's going to Rapid Spin, and that's going to let me use my Earthquake, and that's going to KO him from here. So the only problem I have left is the Tornadus. The rain has stopped, fortunately, so that means no hurricanes if he does carry it, even though he's a physical. It still comes as an amazing stab. So he's going to send in his Empoleon. I should have known that the Grass Knot was coming, but I just decided to stay in anyway. But I do fortunately survive with 7 HP, and I can strike back and KO with an Earthquake. So that's very fortunate, thanks to his special defense investment, and the lack of thereof in Empoleons does allow me to live. So he's going to go into Tornadus. This means I have nothing to actually take a hit, and he's going to KO me with Acrobatics. So that means I have very few things to actually take a hit, Lantern being one of them. And he's actually going to switch out, knowing that Acrobatics won't do too much, but he's going to switch into Registeel. He does still have a few sweepers that can put a dent into me, being his Tornadus, which can probably set up on a few of my Pokemon, and his Kingdra. So my last leg of offense is probably this Bisharp right here. Can't take too many hits, but it can really dish out some damage once I get it going. So I'm going to set up a Swords Dance, knowing he's probably going to want to either Thunder Wave or just go for a Seismic Toss. Fortunately for me, he doesn't go for the Thunder Wave, and this proves to be quite important because I dodged some Parahacks and everything. So I'm just going to KO this Registeel right here with a Brick Break. I believe it does KO. If it doesn't, okay, it does KO. This is going to prove to leave him down to his last 2 Pokemon, which is his Tornadus and his Kingdra. I'm just going to KO this Kingdra with a Night Slash, knowing this Sucker Punch is probably a bit too obvious. And I just want this thing dead. This is probably his most fearsome sweeper he has, even though it is OU now. But it just proves that it can be taken out in the UU metagame still. So I'm just going to stay in here. I'm going to go for a Sucker Punch this turn, knowing that the Night Slash was almost obvious, but he's still going to predict a Sucker Punch, so that's a good choice by him. And this is just going to prove to be a bit harder. Fortunately, because the rain is not up, it proves that I can actually KO with... he won't be able to KO me with Waterfall, and being that Outrage is resisted just proves that he won't be able to do too much as well. So I'm going to go for Night Slash right here, as he's actually going to go for another Dragon Dance. Unfortunately, he's getting quite a few boosts up. He's at +2, but so if I don't survive a Waterfall, I'm basically good game lost at this point. So I'm going to have to survive this hit, and I'm going to have to KO him with a Night Slash. So he's going to go for the Waterfall. Fortunately, the rain is not up, which is why I'm saying it's quite important in this match, because I do live with 64 HP, and I am able to KO with the Night Slash. So that is good game, guys. Comment, like, and subscribe. I will see you later.